I'm Josh Itkor. I'm a trainer at XP Fitness, and this is Scott Middleton. He's the owner of XP Fitness, and today we're working on some different stretching techniques. In particular, we've been focusing lately on the inner thigh groin area. Actually, Scott's been working on this area a lot lately. And one of the things with stretching is people think that, you know, they stretch for 10, 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, they're getting enough, and for the most part, they're not. Maybe if you're new to stretching, new to a program, 15 seconds or so could really help you improve. But as we progress and we get more advanced, stretches need to be held for an extended period of time. And it's something to be careful with. You don't want to just jump into this and hold a stretch for 10, 15 minutes. You're going to be paying severely.
Is that what we're doing, 10, 15 minutes?
We're going for 20. So you start gradually. You know, maybe you hold a stretch for about a minute or so. Maybe you build up to a couple minutes. Maybe it'll go up to 3 minutes and so forth. So right now we're just going to go with a basic butterfly stretch. Particularly, I think we get a little bit of leverage when we sit up against the wall.
All right, I'm gonna wedge my hips up against the wall here, and then bring my feet in nice and tight. And my knees pop way up. So from this point, try to get a little leverage from my feet, and then drive with my elbows down. And this is a stretch that we've been using that I find is a nice way to start working on the groin. And Josh will tell you a little bit about why we do multiple stretches for the same area, like we're stretching the groin from a couple different ways.
Yeah, so an area like the hips, you know, it's a ball and socket joint. So the range of motion in this joint is tremendous, and we have to stretch it from different angles to really improve that flexibility so that we can function from all sorts of different angles. One of the things you'll find with this, someone who is very tight, with their knees up. No, actually, Scott's not too bad. With their knees up much higher, like actually go ahead and bring her up. So when I see someone that's like this tight, this stretch probably does about enough. They're already finding this very difficult. As we get a little more flexible, where Scott is, we definitely find that we've got to push down on those legs. And then it gets to a point where it's hard to gain more flexibility here. And one thing we look for is leverage. And so that's where I take this to another progression, where it helps when you might have, actually you can do a couple of things. You might have a partner that actually helps push down more. One way that you can do this by yourself, Scott's been working on these, you hold a little bit of weight on your legs. That's a great way to do it yourself and gain more leverage. You know, try to relax the muscles, you try to focus on your breathing, but you can already see how his legs are already coming down lower and lower. I think it was last week Scott was doing these and he was using the 30-pound dumbbells and I think he paid a little dearly for that, but
22s was better for me.
With this kind of stretching, when you get to a certain level and you're trying to make big advances, it's this kind of idea where we're holding them longer, trying to push them a little harder, trying to find ways to add leverage, like holding weight. You're probably going to be sore. It's very likely as you start something like this, it's kind of like a new strength training program. You might be sore for a few weeks or for a month or so. You might feel your joints, your like, let's say in this case your hip, you might feel they tighten up a little bit at first. It might take a few weeks for them to actually loosen up, and then your body's going to adapt, and then it's going to be able to hold these stretches longer without the soreness and the difficulties. So just like starting a new program, same type of thing.
So that was about 30 seconds or so, and I could comfortably hold this for another 30, but let's move on to our next attack angle. So I'm going to carefully take these off. And coming out of that stretch, I can feel my body go, so I'm going to move real slowly to escape that stretch. Feels good. Next one. This one's a Frogger stretch. I'm going to have Josh kind of talk me through how to get in a position here.
So just another angle for the groin, inner thigh, some of the external rotation of the hip, and basically Scott's got the position right on here. So you know he's got his knees as wide as he can, getting down as low as he can. But one little thing this is a great stretch right where it is. But one thing I like to do with this that I think takes it to another level is bringing these legs out here just a little bit. So right now, his knee is about 90 degrees, all right? So we're gonna bring this one out a little bit more too. I think Scott can tell you, you can feel a substantial change in the stretch there, the difficulty.
It definitely increases the stretch in a comfortable way. I'm ready for that increase in difficulty, so it feels good.
Two things to be careful of. You want a comfortable surface for the knees, and you also want a comfortable surface for the feet. That can get pretty uncomfortable if it's too hard a surface. And then the other thing you can do is you can hold the stretch for a little bit, but also something Scott's doing here is if you notice, he's starting to rock a little bit. So basically, if you rock back and forth, and you actually try to push your hips and your butt backwards, and he's going to feel even more stretch there.
I like the leverage of getting down on the elbows, but that also increases the stretch. So from here, I might fall forward a little bit, and then slowly work on coming back more. This is my least favorite. Yeah, okay. We got one more to show, right?
Yep. Let's go ahead. Let's get the partner split stretch, if you will, or pancake stretch, right?
Pancake. My goal this year is to fully get this pancake stretch. Okay. And I'm a ways away.
All right, so this is a great partner stretch. A couple things, again, the idea of leverage, right? So what we're doing is we're trying to get his legs spread as wide as possible. What's that?
You can probably come just close.
Like there?
Yep.
Okay. And he wouldn't be able to get this kind of leverage by himself. Keep going.
Yeah, those other two kind of loosen me up. So
Yeah.
it's stretching easier. That's good.
Right there?
Yeah, one. That's it.
Okay. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and grab on here. And we'll pull forward.
I'll say one for it.
Right there. All right. So again, a great inner thigh groin stretch. But when you're doing this by yourself, you're going to gain a lot from this, but you don't have the leverage to try and pull your body forward. And that's going to be key to this one. There are ways that you can do this with like a stretching strap, wrapping it around something, but the partner stretch is one of my favorites for these. Far enough? Carefully and slowly. Take your time because it's hard to move after these.
Yeah. So I can tell you that I've been doing this for a couple weeks now, and it's a big deal of progress for me. I don't think I've ever been able to get this far in my life, tracing back even through, high school sports. So I know that progress can be made through stretching, particularly like Josh was saying, allowing yourself a long time for each stretch, a minute, maybe the beginning. And then he even mentioned this, and this is true, holding a stretch for 10 minutes, really getting yourself immersed into a stretch. You can expect deep levels of soreness, and that's a good thing as long as you're taking one step at a time and not overdoing it. And then Josh mentioned to me earlier that the level of soreness that you're getting, maybe it takes about a month before your body really adapts to the intensity of the stretching, just like a weight training program. And you're going to feel like you're almost getting tighter, and that's a sign that your body is starting to change. So that would be a good thing through something like this. We attacked different angles on the same stretch, held them a long time, and really pushed through some discomfort, but not in any pain. I think that wraps up our 3 stretches for the groin. Anything else you want to add on?
Yeah, one little quick thing. With stretches, just like anything else in your program, you go through periods where you have some soreness, but if done properly, your body should adapt. So
you can see
if you're
as I
sore
sit back into that
for like,
slide,
yeah, it spits down quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you're sore for like 6 months, that's not good. All right, you have to recover, and your body should adapt, and then maybe you hold them for like 3 minutes or so, and then eventually you might start to hold them longer. But it should move. The soreness should be in cycles. You should feel good. You should be a little sore. Feel good. Be a little sore. These are also good to do because they're time consuming. You might want to do some of these, some that you do by yourself. You might want to do while you're reading, doing computer work, watching TV, eating lunch, whatever, because it can get a little monotonous at times. So.
But if this is important to you, this is the way to do it.
This is the way to do it, yeah.